G'day guys, Matt here from Not in the Manual. Today I'm doing a video on my initial battery specs for this 2023 Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive here in Australia with an LFP battery 60 kilowatt hour. So this car is pretty much the same as all the other Model Ys that were sold here into Australia. With the LFP battery, nothing much has changed at all with this car. It got a suspension upgrade earlier in the year and just a bit of a refresh in the cabin as far as noise and vibration go. So there's a lot more soft surfaces inside the car which really help with the sound dampening. The rear windows are also double glazed now, but yeah, that's really it. As far as the battery and everything goes, nothing has really changed that I know of. Tesla may have tweaked a few little things for efficiencies or efficiencies for production as well. So they're always changing things in production to make constant improvements, so they can churn more of these cars out. So what I thought I'd do today, the reason I've taken so long to do this video is I was waiting for my battery stats to sort of settle down and find that settled capacity of the battery. So I have done, let's just have a quick look at the stats of the car. If we come over here, you can see I have done 3,542 kilometers and I've got an average consumption of 148 watt hours per kilometer. Now for my Model 3, its lifetime average consumption was 143 watt hours per kilometer. So you can see this car isn't overly, it's still pretty efficient, and I just wanted to show you that there. So you can see I've used 524 kilowatt hours. If we have a look here now, that's 434 kilometers at 100% state of charge, and that has varied. When I got the car, it was 421 or something like that, and I was wondering what was going on, and we're going to discuss that. I've taken some screenshots of some battery specs back then at the start. So yeah, that sort of made me question what was going on. So the day after I bought the car, I hooked up Scan My Tesla and started having a look at some of the stats there. So if we go through I've got a screen capture here which I'll overlay, so you can have a look here while I'm looking at the photos. So we can start off here with the first screenshot I took Sunday the 20th of August. I picked up the car on the 19th of August in 2023. So on these, I've got a couple of shots initially. Now looking here, you can see that this is definitely, where we're going, we've got, you can see, it's going to be hard doing this, but you can see there DC charge total and AC charge total. You can see there that that's not even a full battery capacity's worth of charging has been done on the car yet. So I'm not too sure when these specs start. I'm not too sure if it's from factory or once it gets here, but it's had some DC fast charging done there. And I'd say when the car is built and made, they DC fast charge the car up to 100% and then discharge the car down to, say, about 50%. I think they have to be discharged to below 50% for transport these days. I think that's a new international shipping rule for electric cars, just as a bit of a safety thing, just to make sure that they're not, the batteries are a little bit more stable for transport in case there's incidents. And that's what I've read. And so I'd say this car spent a lot of time down below 50% state of charge during transit. Now my car went from Shanghai, I think it then went to Singapore or Thailand, I can't remember off the top of my head, and it got stuck there for about a month before it could get on another ship. So they just churn the cars out of Shanghai and just get them out of the country, and then they get shipped to transport hubs, and then the cars are split up and into the different area territories that they are going into. So my car sat there in Thailand for a while, about a month. We had some pretty big delays, and then when the ship finally arrived to Australia, it sat off the coast, I think, for 2 or 3 weeks before it could dock in at Port Kembla here and be unloaded. So my car didn't get delivered till the 19th of August, but it was built on the 12th of May. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, that's a pretty standard lead time, but my Model 3, from when I ordered that, I got it within 2 weeks. So I just wasn't used to having such a long delivery on a car. So I've never experienced such a long delivery. I guess I've been lucky. But yeah, so it sat for a long time at a low state of charge. It then, I imagine, just got a quick top up, and that's what the AC charge total is here. So it would have had 36.8 kilowatt hours topped up by Tesla here in Australia. And so it never really had any charge cycles there to calibrate the battery. So for almost a week, my battery stats were all over the place. So we're just going to quickly have a look at that and look at the progression of the battery stats and then where they are at now. So when I first picked the car up, we can have a look. I might go to the next photo here. So we have nominal full pack is 60.9 kilowatt hours. Now that is what the BMS works out as the current full capacity of the battery. And then it then has the nominal remaining and expected remaining figures, and that's because this battery, when I took these screen grabs, was only at like 59% or 60% state of, here we go, state of charge, 55.3 when I took this screen grab. So it's only going to have me at 36.8 left. But you can see here there is a massive energy buffer of 6.88 kilowatt hours. That's because the BMS doesn't know accurately where the state of charge is of this battery, because I picked it up from Tesla with 100% the day before, and I did a fair bit of driving. I think I did 115 kilometers worth of driving. I think that's on this previous screen. You can see there, odometer was 115 kilometers. So I really hadn't gone anywhere near using a full battery cycle. And my car wasn't supplied with a UMC either, so I didn't have a UMC at that point, and I picked it up on a Saturday, so it didn't get a charge until I got to work on the Monday. So we're seeing that here. And so the BMS, either this is preset or it's the BMS when it doesn't really understand the state of charge of the battery. I think it allows a bigger energy buffer at the bottom. So this is why if you first pick your car up brand new, you need to be super careful not to discharge the battery down to really low states of charge, because the accuracy just isn't there. And you could be pick your car up in Sydney and need to go somewhere regional. Just be careful. I probably wouldn't run your state of charge down below around 20%, because if the BMS can't accurately determine the state of charge, all of a sudden just have the car cut out, because it only takes 1 or 2 cells to get down below the threshold of the bottom voltage tolerance to just shut the car down, and you would need to just pull over the side of the roads. But it's the voltages that matter. So if the volts per cell gets down below 2.6, 2.5, 2.5 is the bottom level for discharge for an LFP battery. And if you take it down below that point, you're going to damage it. So I think Tesla's cutoff point is maybe 2.6 or 2.7. I don't know off the top of my head. I haven't taken this car down to that cutoff point. Just a word of caution there when you pick the car up. At least give it a week of doing a couple of full charge cycles so that the BMS can determine the accurate state of charge level. And then you can start pushing your luck a little bit with running the state of charge down, and you know you're going to be a bit safer there with the accuracy. So you'll see that. You'll see how my car progresses over a few days here. So we'll start looking through some more of those stats. See, my cell imbalance initially wasn't too bad, 4 millivolts. But then I think just as I cycled the car a little bit coming up, it really, there was a fair bit of cell imbalance, and the buffer actually increased a bit more, and we will see that. So let's just have a look at this one. We'll go across here. Okay, so that one there was Sunday as well, Sunday night. And then Monday, I actually connected my Sexy Buttons commander up, and it was showing a 7 kilowatt hour energy buffer there as well. So the state of charge just wasn't being accurately determined. So that safety buffer was still there. You can still see on the Monday my Cell imbalance was still quite good. And yeah, my nominal full pack was 60.9, so still you can see no degradation. Then we got to Tuesday, after I had actually given the car a bit of a charge cycle on Monday and then topped it up again on the Tuesday. So this will be Tuesday afternoon. So having a look here, we can see nominal full pack. Look at that now, it's 61.1. So it's actually over the full pack when new figure of 60.5. So you can see these estimates here for the BMS are actually out. So it's still trying to determine the energy that's stored in this battery. So it's looking at discharging and charging and watching the energy being discharged and recharged back into the battery and comparing that against voltage, and then charging up to full, getting the volts per cell to a 100% state of charge, and then it's doing a bit of a calibration each time it does a charge cycle. So it's actually pretty slow at doing that initially. You can see here, so that's the Tuesday. So we're still showing nominal full pack of 61.1, nominal remaining 61.8. You can see these figures are just all over the place. Energy buffer is 7.75 kilowatt hours. State of charge 101%, that's pretty normal. That's what you'll see if you're looking in Scan My Tesla, but it doesn't say 101% on the screen of the car. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Okay, this is still Tuesday, but you can see here, I'm charged up at 101%. I've got 61.6 kilowatt hours available, but my displayed range was 429. You can see that down the bottom there. So that's what was showing on my screen, not 435. But the full rated range for the car is 435. Now I have the 20-inch wheels, so instead of 455 at 100%, I show 435. That's just the rated range of this car with the 20-inch wheels. And in realistically, there's not a huge difference in the range, but we can talk about that on another video. So we've got, I just wanted to show you that there. So now Wednesday. So we've had another full charge cycle here, not full charge cycle, but we've topped up to 100% again. And we can see nominal full pack is 61.1. But the energy buffer's jumped up to 7.75. So we're still not fully calibrated here at this point. Now, what I didn't point out in that other one was here. This is where the cell imbalance got quite bad. You can see 3.49 was the cell with the highest voltage, and the cell with the lowest voltage was 3.37. So there's a big difference there, 116 millivolts. So that may not seem like much, but that's a fair bit of imbalance across this. The imbalance normally sits at 4 or 6 millivolts most of the time. Sometimes you might see it go up to 10 or 15, but that's pretty rare. That's probably after you've done just a lot of fast charging. You'll see the imbalance come up a little bit, but as you do some slower charging, you'll see that come back down to 4 millivolts. So yeah, really by the Wednesday, still not that great. And where are we? We're into Thursday. Thursday was when everything seemed to come back to normal, and you can see here now we're at nominal full pack 61 kilowatt hours, nominal remaining 61.1. The energy buffer now is 2.75. So here we're seeing this state of charge being a little bit more accurate, but it's still seeing a lot more energy being stored in this battery. And this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the capacity of the battery to come back down and settle at a point, because what I found during this period was it was still going from 61 down to 60 fully charged and jumping around. And I really wanted to wait for that to settle down at a capacity that it was staying at consistently day to day, where every time I charged to 100%. So we're seeing that we've still got some imbalance there, 32 millivolts. That's the Thursday. And you can see this is just a slow process of the battery going back. Now you can see 434 kilometers now was being shown on the display, which is what I have now. And we're starting to see the battery get back to a point. So what's this one here? We've got, okay, 31st of August. So this was another week. The next Thursday, I took another screen grab. So we can see here full pack, where are we? Nominal full pack 60.5, and that's roughly where it sits at these days. And from 31st of August and through, it hasn't really changed much, and it really started to settle down. And you can see, if I go to the next, we've got 8 millivolts there, so it's getting back, the imbalance is getting quite good, and you'll see that improve. 4th of September, what have we got? Nominal full pack 60.4. So you can see there it was 60.5, now it's 60.4. It's really sort of settled down. Now I still think it's got a little way to go before it is at the settled capacity. I think that's probably going to settle just below, somewhere between 58.5 and 59 kilowatt hours for this battery, the 60 kilowatt hour battery. So it's just a nominal capacity, and it's going to just settle around a little bit under that. And at one point, I think fully charged, I don't know if I got that documented, it actually got under 60 kilowatt hours and was showing some degradation on the screen. And we know here, 4th of September, so you can see 12 millivolts, there's still some imbalance there. Okay, so I think I've cut that off there. But we're starting to see the range at 100% sort of sit around that 435, 434 mark, being nice and consistent. Okay, now Thursday, 28th of September, you can see here if I zoom in on the battery stats from the Sexy Buttons dashboard, 1.65% degradation. What was the date on that again? 28th of September, over a month. We're still seeing some fluctuations there as the battery is settling in. So I think we're looking at a few months here for this battery to sort of physically and chemically sort of settle and really sort of settle there and give you some consistent capacities. So as that's settling down, things can just be a little bit inconsistent. And that's what you're seeing here. So nominal full 59.5, nominal new 60.5, that's where we're getting the degradation figure. It's a combination of those two. So the nominal new is the 60.5 is the installed set capacity of this battery. And then we have the nominal full, which is what the BMS determines to be your full battery capacity based on what it sees through charge cycles. So you can upset that by not charging to 100% very often, and by doing a lot of DC fast charging over a short period of time where you're not charging to 100%, that can throw your BMS accuracy out a little bit. And that's what we've seen here. We've got 1.65% degradation. Now I know that's not correct because this is a brand new battery. So that's where you've got to take the degradation figure that you work out from Scan My Tesla, and the range that your car displays is also based off that nominal full. And it has the set efficiency of your car and works out a range figure, and that's what's displayed in the car. So that's why you've seen in my other videos, I don't put that much weight to that displayed range at 100%, because it is based on that nominal full figure, which jumps around a little bit depending on your charging habits. So yeah, that's just proof here why I don't put much weight on that. So there's no way my battery is 1.65% degraded. So now we are, that's all it for the screen grabs. Let's just have a really quick look at the stats where they are now on my car here in Scan My Tesla. Let's just go across to battery. We have nominal full pack of 60 kilowatt hours. So you can see there, that's really where it has been sitting here lately. And where the date today is the 8th of October. So this car is almost 2 months old now. And it's still settling. I think it's slowed down and it's a lot more consistent, that figure, when fully charged. And it's usually sitting on that, dead on that 60 kilowatt hours. And it's been sitting there for a little while. So my charging habits now are a little bit different to when I first got the Model 3. I only had a UMC to charge with, so I was a little bit, I guess you always think, oh, I've got to top it up to 100%. I've got to keep it 100% in case I need to do a long trip. Well, once you own an EV for a while, you realize that even if I was at 20% now and I needed to drive, you know, for 10 hours somewhere, I'd just go to a supercharger now, top that up in 15, 20 minutes and then go. It's not a big deal. And I really only had a UMC charging off a 240 10 amp point. And I used to just, whenever I got to work every day, I would just plug it in and let it just top back up to 100% every day. Now we have a wall connector at work that will charge this car at 11 kilowatts. So it can charge quite quick. So what I do now is I normally only top it up to 100% once a week, unless I do a bit more driving, and then I may top it up to 100% twice a week or something like that. And so I'll let the car discharge down to 20%, 25% roughly, and then on a Friday at work, I might just top it back up to 100%, so I've got the car fully charged for the weekend. And then I might just come in on the Monday, depending how much driving I've done on the weekend, and I might top it up to 100%. So I'm topping it up to 100% maybe twice a week on average. And that's what I've been doing now. And I'm starting to see some consistencies there with the battery capacity. And what else can we look at here? So we've got full pack, that full pack when new, and nominal full pack. They're the two figures we look at when we're determining the degradation of the car. But remember, you can really sort of take a couple of percent off that when you're looking at degradation, because we're looking to get to that settled capacity, which I think we're looking at 60 kilowatt hours now. I think maybe 59 kilowatt hours would be the settled capacity with this battery. And then we can count degradation from 59 kilowatt hours. Say in a year's time, it's at 57 kilowatt hours. Then I've had, you know, 1 kilowatt hour of degradation, and we can look at it then. So this video today was really just to set a benchmark here and then talk about where my charging habits are now. Guys, I hope that has shown you what happens with a new battery. I'm glad that I was able to document that this time, and I'm sorry I didn't get this video out earlier, but I really only sort of felt comfortable with where that 100% charge capacity is. I've only done one big supercharging trip where I had to supercharge since I've had the car. I'm probably going to do a couple more of them in the next coming weeks as well. So yeah, guys, it's just time to sort of settle in and enjoy the car. What I'll do is probably every 6 months, we'll do a bit of a battery update on this car. So guys, once again, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate your comments. Ask away. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I keep telling people that. Ask away in the comments, and that way we can share the knowledge. And if there's something I've forgotten about in this video, let me know. Any questions at all, just ask away in the comments. So guys, I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.